Most of you know who I am, but a quick primer. Like I said, I was director of analytics at Omnicom. I worked on Nissan, Peanuts, Nutella, even a Nobel Peace Prize winner. I'm now running this analytics AI called Clickvoyant. Clickvoyant automates the behavioral research and anthropologic detail of what people are doing on websites from the GA4 data. And it's like having a data analyst sidekick 24/7, but to really understand what she does, you have to get to know GA4. Now, some of you who know me have heard me made this analogy where GA4 is unstructured and GA3 is a structured data set. The analogy that I like to make is that GA3 is a model home. You can go into it, everything works. It's not exactly your taste. Maybe it's a blank slate, but everything's functional. With GA4, it is a house taken down to the studs. And so what that means is you have to consider all of the where the walls are going to be, what, where the piping is going to be. And that requires architects, carpenters. And what that really means is, can I see a show of hands of anybody who's ever worked in Adobe Analytics? I actually don't know if I can see that. Let me just Is everybody, and feel free to like throw it, like raise your hand. Okay, so no hand. I see no hands. Okay, yes, I see. Who is that? Jess. All right. So essentially what we're doing here is you've got to create the way the GA3 used to work was I'm going to put tags on the website, and those tags on the website, when they fire in the browser, it's going to go directly into this model home. Google catches it and knows exactly, okay, that's a visit, that's a session, that's a video play. This is a category action label. I'm going to throw it right in there. Well, now it is so advanced, this unstructured data set, you have to set up the catcher's mitt as well. So you got to say, oh, I want to, capture a video view and all these attributes related to the video title, the video time, the video the length, the video host, the language. Then you got to set that all up in GA4 interface to make sure that the data is received. So when I say you're building the whole structure, documentation is going to be critical. And that's why we've got our handy dandy documentation template. So before we get too deep into it, I just want to walk you through what is inside this audit and tagging schema. Now, an audit of a website is an excellent way to generate leads and also get deeper trust in you with prospects. So what we do at Clickvoyant is we first start out with a user experience audit. We take a look at all of the different components that are on a particular web page. Why do you want to know all this stuff? Because people are doing it. People are doing it, and some of it is correlated to a conversion event on the site, and some of it is not. But you need to capture it to be able to know. But then we're taking a look at what data is firing in that. So if you're and I've got this debugging resource, Analytics Debugger, go download that to your computer. If you don't have it, if right now, this will give you God capability when you're looking at websites, which we're going to do in just a second. There's the link. So then we're going to take a look at what is firing. So we're taking the UX audit, that's this tab. Second tab is what data is firing whenever I click on all that stuff. Third is we're going to take a look at the catcher's mitt. Is it set up correctly? Have I done all of the things? And then we're going to talk about documentation and the tracking schema and the custom dimension. So let's get started. Anybody have any questions or particular things that they want to make sure that I cover about tracking? You got this, guys. I know it's Monday morning, but I know it's data collection and it's the sexiest thing on the planet. Okay, so let's get into it. Let me take a look at it. We're going to take a look at two case study sites. Oh my goodness, so many windows, so many boxes open. All right. So let's talk about a UX audit. Let's take a look at this website. All right, let me see who's on here. We're looking at a site called BabyQuip. BabyQuip is a cool website. I'm a mom. It's a website that you can go rent stuff instead of buying things in the place where you're going to visit. So if you say, I'm going to go to Fort Collins, Colorado, and I'm going to need some baby gear, I'm going to search, I'm going to add this to my cart, and I'm going to get it from like this marketplace of people who give strollers and pack and plays. Now, when I'm gonna take, say this is my prospect, I'm gonna open up my window here. Oops. And now that thing that we just downloaded, Analytics Debugger, you'll notice it by the Elvis rubber duck. First thing you're gonna do is come in here and I have to start debugging. First thing you're gonna do is come in here and buy this man a coffee. I tell that every time. It's right here, that little coffee cup, because it's a completely free tool that allows you to see all of the tags that are on the site. So I'm in here and what are some things that I would want to know if I was like the marketer of the site? I'm driving traffic to BabyQuip, okay? And BabyQuip's like, hey, your campaign didn't really lead to any reservations. What do you want to know about what's going on? Well, why did it? I want to know, did it lead to somebody searching? Were there no products available? Let's take a look if that's even available to us. So what I see here, you could also in this analytics debugger, you could see GA4. You can also add GA3 if you wanted to do that. But I'm taking a look at I'm seeing form submit. I'm on babyquip.com. Did you guys see me submit a form? I don't recall seeing a form submit. I mean, I did in the page before. What this is going to do is collect all the events that happen on this babyquip.home page. Let me see what happens if I change my rental date. All right, I'm changing my rental date to the following weekend. I see a click. And now what this is telling me is what are all of the things that are associated to that click? I got a measurement ID. What you want to understand, if we're here to understand behavior, I want to know what event parameters are being sent with that click. Link ID, home dates continue, not the date, no e-commerce data. Here's some user properties. No data, no other data being sent about me, just stuff that are typical of GA4, which is your account, what page you want, etc. Let me just go ahead and search that and see what we get. Okay, so let's see. So now let me close this up and show you. So I'm on babyquip.com home. Now I'm babyquip.com partners location search. I'm on babyquip.com and I didn't see any new data on that click, on the actual search. It just says home search date continue. I did not see executed search. So that's one thing I noticed. Number two, now I'm here on this Fort Collins, Colorado quality providers page. Page just loaded and I've got a form start and a form submit. Did you guys see me do that? No, I didn't do that. So we've got some erroneous data right away. If this were me, I'd be calling up BabyQuip and hey, did you know your form starts and form submits are like firing on every page? What a great lead gen. In addition, let's take a look at what's going on here. So I see, let me see, I'm looking for a full size crib and it's like I'm changing pages. Okay, let's assume that this is the crib that I want in e-commerce. I'm gonna oh, what's happening here? Okay, so now I'm on a product detail page and I'm gonna add okay, there's that good old form submit firing every page. I'm gonna add to cart. Huh. Shows I added item to cart. No add to cart data here. So this is the use case for your user experience. Like I want to know all of these things that we're trying to do to get somebody into that cart and somebody to check out. What am I getting? Two erroneous data points that are firing, whether I'm doing anything or not. This is a great lead into this company. I'm going to check out now. So now I got my cart view. So you'll basically go through this process. Oh, now I've got a view cart. I got a view cart without an add to cart. You know, customers are always asking for things like, show me the funnel. Show me how I got from a product detail page to an add to cart to the view the cart to the checkout. Is this company going to be able to do that? No, they won't. You're not seeing any of the data there. So here's an example of something that looks good. And I'll tell you why this looks good because we just did it. Uh, Here's Polka Dog. Super cute. If you've got a dog, they've also got you know, owner and dog apparel, matching apparel. It's adorable. I would never do that because I'm cool. But I just love to watch people do that. Anyway, you're gonna come in here and you're gonna see, okay, I'm gonna look at my Polka Dogs collections. Now what I see in GA4. Do you can I get a quick show of hands for people who are e-commerce, who have e-commerce clients mostly? Thank you, Daniel. Jessica, okay, cool. You got an e-commerce component. Nice. Emmy. And the others, I'm going to assume there's really only one other kind, which is kind of lead gen or marketplace. So then who's lead gen? Can I get a lead gen show of hands? All right. Gotcha. Okay, so I'll touch on a little bit of everything. Um, so what you got here, what you got going on here is, oh, Mia, why is there two page views and two view items firing on Codskins? Well, that's because this is a different account ID. You can see this is sending one to one main account and then sending one to another main account. But what you want to see is a product detail view item. Now this syntax here, page underscore view item. Let's add this to cart. There goes your add to cart. Now let's go to checkout. This is where you could start to see that begin checkout, better implementation. Now, going back to your process for pitching, for onboarding, your UX audit is gather all the components, navigations, call to edit, social media actions, form view, form submit, then do the tracking on it. What I typically do is I say, this is on this page. This is what I typically saw. Now, category action label, if there are two ways to do an audit. First way is, let's get everything that we had in GA3 up and running in GA4. Who's doing that? Some people are doing that. Some clients like to do that. That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to transition one client from GA3 into GA4. Category, action, label. We knew it. We loved it for 15 years. And it's easy to think about that. Now, I will say that when we talk about event-based tracking, have you guys heard that? Are you with me on this? I'm assuming a little bit of knowledge of GA4 here. Event-based tracking will allow you 25 dimensions. If you wanted to track an event before, it would be like chat open, category action label. That's all you had. And so I've seen like really data-driven companies using GA3 to do things like, say, in the example of video. So maybe your company has video sales letters. They work great, by the way. Video sales letters is like a homepage video. Somebody's like talking about stuff. And if you're testing that, you want to know in the video, what was the video title? Who was the speaker? How long was it? Well, in category action label, that old world, that's all you had. If you wanted to know 5 things about that video, if you wanted to know 4 things about that video, you had to reuse a new event. And so I saw things like video 1, category action label this, video 2, category action label that. GA4, like your world's your oyster. You could have those 5 variables. You could have up to 25. And so that is where the event parameters come into play. So Google's language is event parameter. You will see that show up in the tracking schema, custom parameters here. But let's just get back to GA4. So let's assume all this tagging already done. You've set up like all the goals and events. You've taken a look and you've debugged and using the analytics debugger, and you captured and categorized all of these things. What custom events are showing? What goals and events that they used to have? Is it working? You have this long laundry list of things that are not working, or what is more likely, not tracked. And then you get to go to your client with, here's how we're going to implement this for you. Now, getting into the catcher's mitt, I'm going to move over to GA4 administration. I got a checklist here. It's nice and easy. You could actually just get through this. How do you typically have access to a Google Analytics for admin panel? Show of hands. Okay. That is often something. All right, Saad, Heather, Jessica, nice. If you can get access to this, at least the read version, you don't need all the access to publish. If you can get access to this, you'll be able to diagnose some specific problems that a lot of companies do. So this is just your checklist. You have this in your training materials. Please copy and paste it. Actually, I'm going to make sure, Joe, we might have to make sure like they can only view it, but just please copy and paste it. And then you can scale it from client to client. Number one, extend the data retention from default 2 months. Default is 2 months. If you want to know what happened with customers beyond 2 months, especially if you have a lead gen customer, usually lead gen customers for a higher ticket item, usually sometimes take a 30-day sales cycle. If they're longer than 60 days, you're definitely gonna want to change that. And you definitely want to change it either way because you want to know how customers behave. Then you want to turn on Google Signals. So this Google Signals data collection, it doesn't happen automatically where you'll get cities, demographics, all that stuff you're going to need to do retargeting and performance marketing. So you want to make sure that Google Signals is turned on. 3, this is usually a no-brainer, link to Google Analytics account. A lot of clients forget to do it. Next, collect the custom dimensions from event parameters. That is, again, setting up the catcher's mitt. Now, it's getting a little involved here, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but that's your ninja move, is to make sure when you see inside this panel where the custom dimensions are, that they have a rich list. Right here, this one only has 4. Right? A rich list of custom dimensions that you're going to want to know about forms, form names. There are some automated event parameters, but not a lot. Most of the event parameters that are sent with an event, just page title, page URL, click name. Right? You're going to want to know all these other things that are going on these websites. For example, what am I missing here in BabyQuip? I'm missing search term. I'm missing cities that were searched. I'm missing units added. I'm missing adds to cart. What was added to cart? Like that kind of stuff is how we get into anthropologic detail about what customers are doing on your site. So you're going to want to see that in the custom definitions, in the custom metrics and custom definitions. If you don't see that, there is definitely room for improvement. Next, you're going to want to turn on enhanced tracking, except for forms. So I have these screenshots that are going in order down here. Inside the stream setup, there is a toggle here called an enhanced measurement. Automatically collect all of this data. And for the most part, it works. It's looking at things like scrolls, outbound clicks. If they have YouTube videos, it will get the timing, site search. These are all things that used to be you'd have to set up inside Google Tag Manager. So now you don't need a developer to do that, which is pretty dope. But you don't want to turn on forms. And here's why. I'm pretty sure that something is going on here with the form tracking. The Google automatic form tracking will auto detect if a form exists on a page and auto detect if it is submitted. My main problem with it is that and I put this in the notes here, it will say a form has been submitted when you click the button, even if there is an error, of which roughly 20% of the time there is. password wasn't the, good enough. That's the number wasn't in the right format. So you do not want to track forms with the enhanced tracking. You want to do that in the data layer or on thank you pages.